Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. Hopefully you absorbed a little bit of the information that we went through previously in Lean for Life. I understand that was a lot of content, but it was all really fundamental, important stuff. Today we're going to go through and have a look at the supplement industry, the pharmaceutical industry. So it is a factor because it's a multi-million dollar industry that basically, people can't separate themselves from completely because it pries on human emotion. Yeah, it pries into us wanting instant gratification, the quick fix. So here's what you need to know. What you need to know is that it is a multi-million dollar industry and they are awesome at, finding our pain points and prying on those and turning that into money. My experience with supplements is, probably similar to yours. I've I've tried a fair few different supplements. I've never, I've, I would say I've never had outstanding results with anything when I've just been relying on supplements. My tendency when I was younger was when I bought supplements, I'd rely too much on these, especially on protein powders when I was training, and not enough on real food, not enough on those fundamentals that we went through previously. From this, I never got results. Okay, the protein powders, the mass gainers, the ones that were going to give me an instant six pack, they never lived up to their hype. But looking back, I can't really blame the supplement. I need to take some responsibility myself for the actual real food I was putting in my mouth. Supplements, I believe, are, well, should be kept exactly as that, a supplement. A supplement meaning an extra to what you're already doing, an extra to a really good, clean, healthy diet. So my goal for today is to go through some supplements that you might find useful adding into your diet. And I'll just talk a little bit about my experiences with them. And it's basically going to come down to you and what you believe and whether you want to experiment with these supplements or not. Okay, so the first supplement that we're going to look at is probably the most used one in gym goers, and that's protein powder. So if you're like the majority of people that have protein powder, you most likely have a whey protein powder. That means it's a byproduct of milk. So it's a dairy product. Now, the problem with protein powder is that although many people are having it, so many people can't digest it well. They might not even realize it, but they just think being gassy after they have it is normal, or even, getting the runs is normal. But I want to tell you it's not. Okay, your digestive system should be working just as well when you have protein powder as if you were not having it. A lot of people also have, acne breakouts and whatnot as well when they start having protein powder. So that's a big problem because it means your body isn't actually absorbing it, and you may as well not be having it. In fact, you're probably better off without it. There are solutions to this. I've also had the same problem with protein powders. I've probably became a little bit more sensitive to dairy over the years of having too much milk. And these days I actually have a non-dairy based protein powder. So at the moment, I've got a brown rice protein powder. So it's a plant-based protein. So if you do have problems digesting protein, I suggest, and you think that you do still want a protein powder in your diet, I suggest you look for alternative sources. So a rice protein powder is good. I'd stay away from soy protein. But you could also look at pea protein, hemp protein. These are some other sources that you can look at. Also, the quality of the protein, like we spoke about in the previous lesson, really matters. So if you get a protein powder that is from grass-fed cows or from cows bred organically even, the quality is going to be a lot higher and you're going to be able to digest it and absorb the protein a lot better than some cheap knockoff. There's also a couple of differences with whey protein powder. There's basically whey protein isolate, or there's whey protein concentrate. Whey protein isolate is a lot higher protein level with less carbs, less fat, so it's more filtered and normally has less lactose. So if you're just a little bit dairy sensitive, lactose sensitive, you could also look at a whey protein isolate, a good quality one once again. A whey protein concentrate is less filtered and normally has a little bit more carbs and fats in it as well, and it's higher in lactose. It's also a little bit slower absorbing protein than whey protein isolate. The one other sort of type of protein is casein. So casein is also a milk product. It's probably the milk product that people have the biggest reaction to in terms of sensitivity. It's a very slow absorbing protein, so some people like to have this before they go to bed, so the protein is absorbing in their bloodstream overnight. But I wouldn't look into this unless you really have no problems at all digesting dairy. So, do you need protein powder? Well, that's completely up to you. The advantages of having a protein powder would be the ease. That's basically, the ease and the efficiency. So if you know when you finish a training session that you don't have time to have a proper meal, for maybe a couple of hours, then some protein powder here is a good idea. If you can go and get a meal, within the half an hour or so, I would most of the time I would prefer to just go and eat some real food. So I would mainly look at your access to real food within the post-training window. Also, having some protein powder is definitely going to depend on your training goals. If you're trying to put on muscle, increase weight, you might need more protein than what you're getting. Generally, for most people that are training, between 1 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram that you weigh is more than enough. So if you weigh 80 kilograms, if you're going to be wanting somewhere between 80 to 160 grams max of protein. So that's one thing to look at, and then to decide if you need to start supplementing with protein powder. So if you do, make sure that it is really, really good quality. The next lot of supplements that we're going to look at here are glutamine, magnesium, vitamin D, and fish oil. So first of all, glutamine. So what is it? Glutamine is just an amino acid, so it's one of your building blocks of protein. So most protein powders will have some glutamine in them, but you can buy glutamine by itself. So why would you take glutamine? Glutamine is basically for gut function and immunity. So I have used it quite successfully actually in the past. In times of heavy training, all you need is sort of one teaspoon once or twice a day in some water. doesn't really taste like anything, and I have had good success not getting so run down when I've been taking it. But it's always hard to say whether it's down to the supplement or whether you're eating better at the time. So you can look into some glutamine if you tend to get quite run down with training. It's very cheap. It's probably 30 Australian dollars, and that'll last you a couple of months. The next one is magnesium. So magnesium is also a supplement that I've had success with, probably more so recently, just in the last year or so. I don't know if you follow my blog posts and whatnot, but some of you may know that I have had troubles sleeping a lot in the past, especially in times of heavy training. So if I'm doing a 4-week cycle, come the third week of heavy training, the nervous system is getting pretty fried. Sleep patterns start, not being as solid. I start getting really restless during the nights, restless during the day, and magnesium can just help this problem a little bit. It can help settle you down. I have had success with it, probably supplementing with it, that is. Probably because there has been research that shows magnesium levels in our soil, where we used to get a lot of magnesium from in our plants, is not what it used to be, due to soil degradation and basically the agricultural revolution and the billions of people on Earth needing food. So if you do tend to get also restless and broken sleep and whatnot, you can try magnesium. The next one is vitamin D. Vitamin D is basically, we do get it from the sun. So depending on where you live, if you do get out in the sun for a good 15-20 minutes every day, you probably don't need it. Since I've been in Europe, I've been having it, and having it in decently high doses, and I find that my moods probably are a little bit better when I'm taking it. The weather really affects me, and I think this taking some vitamin D does help. Okay, and also helps absorb different minerals as well in your diet. The last one that we're going to speak about here is fish oil. So fish oil is, sometimes it can taste a little bit like this picture here, eating a whole fish straight in the mouth, nice and raw, but it doesn't have to. There are good quality fish oil and krill oil tablets or oils out there that are quite neutral. So the reason why you would take them is for a couple of different reasons. Number one, for your joints. Fish oil has been shown to be good for your joints. If you're training heavy, if you're doing heavy strength training, it can definitely help. Especially if you're, an aging athlete, if your training age is quite high. Also, it's great for your heart health and your brain health. If you eat a lot of fish in your diet, a lot of good quality fish, you may also not need fish oil tablets. If you are going to supplement with fish oil though, make sure that it is good quality. Okay, make sure that it is mercury tested. You don't want it from fish that have levels or moderate to high levels of mercury, or any mercury if possible. And there are options as well that are look for quite a high dosage, so you don't need to take too many. So that's my thoughts on glutamine, magnesium, vitamin D, and fish oil. There are hundreds of other supplements out there that we can look into: creatine, beta-alanine, iron, vitamin C, heaps of multivitamins, heaps of other ones. But we're just going to go over those basics today and leave it there. So, as you may have figured, my view on supplements is they can be useful, especially in times of heavy training. But I, first of all, always recommend the client gets their diet right first. So I wouldn't even really look at supplements if there's more energy that you can put into going through and getting those fundamental rules down pat first. Once you have those down pat and you feel like you're really restless, try some magnesium. If you feel like your immune function is really low, perhaps try some glutamine. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this and what you've tried in the past. These are the ones that I've had some success with, but like I said earlier, focus on the real food and supplement second. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.